Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. And on this stream, in case you're not aware, we take a look at the skilled trades. Something that, from an industrial point of view, not much what you expect on a YouTube channel, but here we are. I've been doing this for, well, it's the 80th episode now, so just trucking along, bringing you the information about the skilled trades, what you need to know to get into them, and what to expect, and also some of the projects I've been involved with. And I'd like to welcome Angry Canadian in the chat. Yes, sir, it is Tuesday. Good to see you, AC. Hope things are well for you in the land of the rising sun. One of these days I'll get over there. Well, as I so often do, I will start out the stream with a little bit of news out in industry. You can kind of tell how well your economy's doing if you can look at the industrial news and see which manufacturing plants are operating at a high capacity, whether some are getting shuttered or people are getting laid off or they're building new ones. And the way I'll do that is I'll start off with Plant Magazine. Take a look at here and see what they have for news coming up. International Battery Metals and U.S. Magnesium partner on DLE plant. I don't know what a DLE plant is, but we'll read this and hopefully it'll tell us. International Battery Metals Limited announced an agreement with U.S. Magnesium for the installation of its modular direct lithium extraction plant installed at a brine resource. Okay, so DLE is direct lithium extraction. Now, lithium is needed for batteries, so I'm assuming that's what they're going to do with it. Try to get more lithium. Let's see what this says. The mobile facility is co-located at U.S. Mag's existing operations outside Salt Lake City, Utah. IBAT's plant will process brine produced from lithium-containing waste magnesium salts. The resulting lithium chloride product will provide feed for high-purity lithium carbonate production by U.S. Mag. In the last month, IBAT has initiated most of the equipment setup, including pipe and utility tie-ins and other installation activities, of its patented modular extraction plant at the U.S. Mag site. Initial testing of critical equipment is underway. IBAT anticipates that full commissioning and startup will be completed within the next 3 months, with commercial lithium production to follow shortly thereafter. Our commercial operations with U.S. Mag will advance a productive lithium extraction operation, said Gary Flowers, CEO of IBAT. Given current lithium demand, supply dependence on China, and permitting challenges, our expected commercial operations are coming at an ideal time to produce lithium at scale in the U.S. That's an important thing, everybody. It's important that they do that in the U.S. and not rely on China. IBAT's patented modular plant was fabricated in Lake Charles, Louisiana, before being recently transported to U.S. Mag. Commercial operations will serve growing lithium demand from automakers for electric vehicle batteries, as well as energy storage batteries to support growing electricity demand and to balance the grid from increased renewable energy integration. IBAT has demonstrated that the technology can extract lithium from subterranean brine sources and return the lithium-depleted brine to the same subsurface aquifer in a closed recycling loop. This work has been verified from natural brines in Canada, the U.S., Argentina, Chile, Mexico, and Europe. Other than the use of acid and a base for pH control, IBAT's compact lithium extraction process does not introduce chemicals into the brine. The unique patented technology promises faster delivery of lithium chloride while ensuring minimal environmental impact. International Battery Metals' patented modular extraction technology will be the basis of future lithium extraction from brine resources around the world. It is the fastest technology to deploy and commence commercial operations, said Dr. John Burba, founder, CTO, and Director of International Battery Metals. Furthermore, its inherent efficiency and environmental protective characteristics make IBAT's technology superior to existing DLE operations. We're very excited about the placement of our first plant on a resource and the expected commencement of commercial operations. Well, there you go. People should be snapping that up to do lithium extraction. And, because there's going to be more demand as electric vehicles, battery-powered vehicles, they want those to be the mainstream. I don't know if I should read this one. VBI Vaccines expands partnership with Canadian government on a vaccine platform. This can't be good. I'm not too crazy about this. VBI Vaccines, a biopharmaceutical company, has expanded its collaboration with the Government of Canada, supported by a funding contribution from the Government's Strategic Innovation Fund. So it's expanded its collaboration with the Government of Canada because it's being supported by the Government of Canada. This stinks right off the bat. First sentence, it's disgusting. Government's giving them money and giving them money so they can work closer with them. This stinks big time. Under the new agreement, the remaining $28 million of funding available under the previously committed $56 million will be directed toward the development of VBI's proprietary MLE platform, a new generation version of the company's particulate-enveloped virus-like particle vaccine technology that enables the coding of eVLPs using messenger RNA. What an evil company. And it's DJ Ronnie G. Hey, DJ. Good to see ya. Just going over a little news here. In preclinical studies, VBI's MLE candidates generated strong B-cell, T-cell signals compared to those seen with other mRNA vaccines tested. The technology platform also offers potential for streamlined manufacturing timelines similar to other mRNA vaccines. And it's Human Blaze the Cat. Hey, how you doing? Just doing our news here. And DJ, you've heard of this, the C preventative. We are grateful for the continued support of our long-term partners of the Canadian government and are pleased to extend our work together to investigate our novel MLE platform, which we think has the potential to revolutionize particular vaccines, said Jeff Baxter, President and CEO of VBI. This funding will enable us to validate and expand this technology, one that we believe could have broad applicability. I'm reading Plant Magazine. This is an article about VBI vaccines to extend their partnership with the Canadian government. You regret not super chatting Dean Cain today? Your brain wasn't working until after your nap? Oh, DJ, you missed your opportunity, buddy. Yeah, it's news report on the website there, Blaze. Additionally, in collaboration with the National Research Council of Canada, the partnership will support the development of stable cell lines using proprietary gene editing techniques to enable rapid updates depending on viral target, as well as optimization of manufacturing timelines, process, and yields sufficient to support late-stage clinical studies consistent with the strategic intent of the original agreement. Development will primarily focus on platform development and will also include a pan-coronavirus MLE candidate that to contribute towards future epidemic and pandemic preparedness. Standard mRNA vaccines are transported to cells in a lipid nanoparticle carrying instructions in the form of genetic code that teach the immune system to generate proteins that trigger an immune response to the target antigen. VBI's MLE approach adds a structural viral protein core, the same protein at the core of VBI's eVLPs, to an mRNA vaccine. The addition of this protein instructs cells not only to create target antigens, but also create eVLPs in vivo, which then circulate in the body, provoking the immune system to drive potent B-cell and T-cell responses. The way I look at it is, keep that garbage away from me. Stop screwing around with genetic stuff. It's not good. You guys aren't doing it for the good of mankind. You're doing it so you can make lots of money. Anyway, moving along, that was Plant Magazine. We'll move up to MRO now. And I saw this article here. Canadian government celebrates youth in the skilled trades at 2024 competition. So I know every year that there is a skilled trades competition that goes on. Premier Doug Ford, Ontario ministers, and Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow gathered with approximately 40,000 competitors, volunteers, and the public at the Toronto Congress Centre this week to witness the future skilled trades and technologies workforce compete at the 2024 Skills Ontario competition, started in 1989. The Ontario competition is the largest skilled trades competition in Canada and offers a unique opportunity for top students to demonstrate that they are the best of the best in their skilled trades or technology field. This year, Skills Ontario saw over 2,800 young people from across the province competing in over 75 different contests. It is the largest number of youth competing in the competition in the organization's history. During the event, Skills Ontario welcomed Premier Doug Ford and Ministers Peter Bethlen Falvey, David Piccini, Jill Dunlop, Stephen Lecce, Lisa Thompson, Charmaine Williams, along with Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow, to celebrate careers of the skilled trades and technologies. This is the largest skills competition in the country, approximately 2,800 competitors. Yeah, but they said that already. You're repeating yourself, the person that wrote this article. We appreciate the support, contribution, and investments of Ontario's government in making to promote skilled trades and build the workforce of the future. The event wrapped up the closing ceremony on the morning of May the 8th, and the winners receiving gold, silver, and bronze medals, and some also receiving monetary awards, along with opportunity to compete Skilled Canada National Competition in Quebec City. All right. I always wondered what it would be like to participate in something like that, a skilled trades competition. Like, I should look in on that and see what they actually get down to. So that was the news. Now this one is an article. Are high school students the answer for the skilled trades? Let's see if they agree. I say yes. High school students are the answer because that's where you should introduce the skilled trades to them and get them interested. Let them know that it's not just college or university that you need to go to be successful. You can be successful going through the skilled trades route. Canada's residential construction industry is facing an acute shortage of skilled trades in the next decade. It's not acute, it's large, it's huge. Don't say it's just an acute shortage. There's a big shortage coming, and it's going to hit hard because we're all going to retire. I myself probably have another maybe 15 years to go, and then I'll be looking at retirement. So, yeah, the next decade, you're going to get the tradesmen like me are going to be retiring, and there's nobody to take their place. It says here, but Ontario has a plan. The focused apprenticeship skills training program, which will allow grade 11 and 12 students to participate in apprenticeship learning through cooperative education credits while completing high school. That's in Ontario. Here where I live, we have something called the WRAP program. And if you're in high school, you can earn hours towards your apprenticeship while still being in high school. Canada's residential construction industry facing okay, yeah, you wrote that already. So they did it twice. They wrote it here, and then they wrote it here. Like, knock it off. With more than 133,000 workers in the residential construction sector across Canada expected to retire by 2033, or roughly 22% of the workforce, the industry will need new recruits. Due to anticipated growth in the industry, 158,000 workers will need to be brought on board between 2024 and 2033, according to a residential scenario outlook released recently by BuildForce Canada. To ensure we have enough skilled trade workers to build the millions of homes that will be needed in the future, we must tap into new pools of talent, particularly students in secondary schools. I'm all for this. If you want to open that up to students in secondary schools, do it. In fact, junior high. Do that. Get the exposure early. We need to let young people know about the multitude of good-paying jobs in the construction industry, encourage them to take up training on the tools, and give them hands-on experience. For many young people, especially those that don't see themselves in college or university, it is important that they'll be able to earn while they learn, pick up valuable skills that last a lifetime, and get into a satisfying job that offers unlimited career advancement opportunities. That message is more important now, as the aging workforce and increasing retirement will pose a significant challenge for Canada's residential construction industry. It's not just that industry, everybody. It is all industries. Manufacturing, chemical, anything, HVAC. There's going to be a lot of open spots. Recruitment will be an ongoing challenge. However, we may finally be seeing some of the change that's needed. A new fast-track plan announced by the provincial government in Ontario will permit high school students who want to pursue a career in the trades to spend up to 80% of their time on training and 20% on academics. The new program is scheduled to start this fall. Well, Ontario, you sure took your time, because Alberta's been doing that for a while now. So, the program was announced recently by Education Minister Stephen Lecce and Labour Minister David Piccini. It will make it easier for teens to transition into the trades amid the shortage. The focused apprenticeship skills training program will allow students in grades 11 and 12 to participate in apprenticeship learning through cooperative education credits while completing high school. Between 8 and 11 credits can be earned from the trades training through co-op placements. Students still have to earn mandatory math and English credits in grade 11 and English in grade 12. I mean, that just makes sense. The program runs 2 to 5 years, and those who finish their apprenticeship will be able to apply to graduate high school as mature students. They got to put up a warning here. I'm not sure if they've done it yet, but just because you're in high school and you graduate and you have, let's say you're a journeyman when you graduate high school, you're not going to get respect from anybody. They're going to look at you. You're going to come to the job site thinking you know everything, and they're going to go, shut up, kid, grab a broom. And that's going to be what's going to happen. You don't let somebody that's fresh, they're not going to be rebuilding all the important equipment. They're going to have to work their way up. They're going to have to earn their stripes, as it were. So just because they graduate knowing a few things, it's not going to be that way on the job site. Just letting you know, because that's the harsh reality of it. The new stream is included in the Working for Workers Act 2024 that was introduced recently by the government. Students will get a seal of distinction if they enroll in the stream. It will put them in the driver's seat, encourage more kids to graduate who might otherwise not do so. Hey, Tits and Ray Guns, how you doing? Grab a broom and a porta pen. Yeah. Get in there. Clean that up. The whole purpose, of course, is to open the doors to apprenticeship to more young people and encourage them to pursue a career in the trades. It's a more flexible program than students have had in the past and provides them many more choices. The idea hasn't been embraced by everyone. Some critics are worried that teens will miss out on fundamental learning in English and math. Unifor, meanwhile, has expressed concerns the initiative could water down apprenticeship requirements and lead to lower completion rates. Well, you just have to make sure that when they go for their training and their exams and all that, it's not watered down. You shouldn't have to dumb it down. Also, the schools are worried about English and math. I mean, they can do it. English and math, it's not that difficult. Math is all numbers. You should be able to handle it. On your ranch, we usually make the new guy jack off the ball. Does he at least get some gloves? Oh yeah, that's the old hazing at work, that's for sure. However, the initiative will help boost the number of youth who take up training in the trades and likely end up encouraging more students to graduate, as many drop out to pursue a career in the trades. So that's the thing too. Don't force people. But if these students just go into that naturally, they want to go into it, just encourage them and be like, yep, you can go into that. That's exactly it. Here you go. And then they can do that. They know what they want to do. The program's been in the works for some time and has received support from both Ontario Public School and Ontario Secondary School Initiative will be a game changer as it allows students to pursue training in the trades while earning academic credits. To graduate high school, university isn't the only path to success in life. This is true. We are in a dire crisis when it's come to housing and simply not building enough to keep up with demand. In Ontario, we are nowhere near the pace needed to get to the target of building 1.5 million homes by 2031. To reach that figure, we need many more skilled trades. Presently, 1% of high school graduates are registered apprentices. 1% are only registered as apprentices. Wow. Yeah, get it together, Ontario. You guys really need to do something better. He gets a broom and a porta pan. Oh, nice. Here's one too. You don't know about Canada, but American schools used to offer vocational school training. So when I went to high school, we had something called, and this was in grade 8. So going right into the first year of high school, we had industrial education. And then halfway through the year, we'd switch over and do home economics. And industrial education was woodwork, metalwork, just all that kind of stuff to get us working with our hands. And then home economics, cooking, sewing. Like they taught us that stuff. And that's not so long ago. That was in like 1987 or 1988. So that's what they had in Canada. But here's one from the America's labor shortage, the most impacted industries. Of course, they're going to start right off the bat. Who wrote this thing? They start off with the pandemic caused major disruption in America's labor force. It wasn't the pandemic itself. It was the reaction by the government that caused the disruption. You can't just blame it on the pandemic and say that you didn't have anything to do with it. There, government. It was you. Something may have referred to as the Great Resignation in 2022. More than 50 million workers quit their jobs following the 47 million who did so in 2021. In 2023, the trend gradually subsided, with 30 million resigning as of August. A closer look at what happened to the labor force can be better described as the Great Reshuffle. While quit rates remain high, hiring rates continue to outpace them, as many workers have been transitioning to other jobs in search of improved work-life balance, flexibility, increased compensation, or a strong company culture. So I did this. In 2021, left my job of 15 years to go to a different place. And it was a good choice. Very good choice. Better pay, better working conditions. Just overall, a better move for me. So I did that in 2021. The U.S. Chamber is closely monitoring trends in job openings, labor force participation, quit rates affecting industries nationwide. Continue reading to explore the analysis. And yeah, okay, here we go. Food service and hospitality businesses struggle to retain workers. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because food service and hospitality pay garbage? Your vocational classes were things like electrical, wiring, electronics, building boards, auto mechanics, and animal husbandry. Oh, okay. Yeah, tits. After grade 8 and grade 9, I did take electronics, which was a great elective. Like it was awesome. The electives that they had, you could take electronics, and just a bunch of other stuff, and it was great. Electronics or drafting or metalwork. It was all good stuff. Like the way they did it was great. Jobs that are fully in person and traditionally have lower wages have had a more difficult time retaining workers, even prior to the pandemic. For example, leisure and hospitality industry has experienced the highest quit rates of all industries, with the accommodation and food services subsector of this industry experiencing a quit rate consistently above 4.5% since July 2022. Across all industries, hiring rates have continuously outpaced quit rates. Looking again at leisure and hospitality, the industry lost 781,000 workers in January, but 1.05 million people were hired into the industry that same month. In fact, since November 2020, leisure and hospitality has been maintained the highest hiring rate among all industries, ranging between 6 to nearly 19%. This hiring rate remains significantly higher than the national average, which has hovered around 3.7% since January 2024. When taking a look at the labor shortage across different industries, the education and health services sector and the professional and business services sector consistently exhibit the highest number of job openings. Worth noting that professional and business services span a broad spectrum of occupations, including legal services, scientific research, as well as roles like landscaping workers, cleaners, and waste disposal workers. Meanwhile, in more stable, higher-paying industries such as financial activities and manufacturing, the number of employees quitting has been lower. The most recent job reports from the Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates that thousands of individuals are joining the workforce, which is good. However, labor force participation still does not match what it was before the pandemic for a variety of reasons, and they have a variety of reasons highlighted for some reason. If the labor force participation rate were at the February 2020 level, we would have an additional 2 million people in the workforce, and this shortage is impacting all industries in nearly every state. Even if every unemployed worker were to fill an open job within the respective industry, there would still be millions of unfilled job positions, highlighting the widespread labor shortage. And there's a chart here that shows that the yellow is filled job openings, black is unfilled job openings. And in durable goods and manufacturing, it's at 80%. Wholesale and retail is at 100% filled openings. Financial activities, about 50%, it looks like. Professional business services, about 50%. Leisure and hospitality are a little bit 60 or 70%. Hello, Alex Moore. Nice to see you. To further understand shifts in the labor force, it is important to look at labor force participation across different industries. Manufacturing industry as a whole faced a major setback after losing 1.4 million jobs during the onset of the pandemic. Since then, the industry has made significant strides toward recovery, making a concerted effort to address job vacancies, while durable goods manufacturing has seen a more substantial recovery compared to non-durable goods manufacturing. As of January 2024, a gap persists of 622,000 total job openings. Are these job openings in you guys' areas? Like, how are things for job openings where you guys are? I'm quite curious to know. Like, I can read this article, and it's by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, but I mean, who knows how much they really know what they're talking about? I'd rather hear it from you guys. Like, where you're working, are they hiring where you're working? Are they laying people off? Like, how are things going out there? Let's see. Hey, Godzillionaire, you showed up just in time to proclaim that it's all lies. On the contrary, the construction industry faces a labor surplus. The number of unemployed workers with experience in this industry exceeds the available job openings, with an average of 383,000 job vacancies per month in 2023, while the monthly average of individuals with experience in this field seeking employment amounts to 480,000. It's worth noting that labor surplus does not ensure that all positions will be occupied, as workers may not necessarily be located in the geographic areas where the open positions are situated. It also does not imply that an industry will have the workers it needs in future years. All industries currently have job openings, with each actively seeking new hires. The rate of hiring varies significantly from one industry to another, with certain sectors bringing in a larger number of new employees at a more rapid rate compared to others. Consider the mining and logging industry, which is relatively small in terms of employment. From January to December, the industry hired the fewest number of workers, totaling 286,000. This stands in sharp contrast to the leisure and hospitality sector and professional and business services sector. In the same time frame, each of these industries hired around 13 million employees. Oof. These are lies. There are lies, damn lies, and statistics. Those are the worst. You got her, DJ. And this just goes on and on. Man, this is a long article. Oh, here we go. Work arrangements by industry. So yellow is fully on site, blue is hybrid, and green is fully remote. Of course, information, yeah, you can do that. You can do that at home. Finance and insurance, still, you can do a lot of that at home. Professional and business services, still 40% on-site, 40% hybrid, and 20% fully remote. Construction, of course, you can't do that remotely. Healthcare and social assistance, once again, they're getting higher. Manufacturing, yeah. When the pandemic was going on and I was working, I did not have a choice. I had to keep going to work every day. There was no staying at home. Retail, yeah, you've got to be there. There's no, transportation and warehousing, yep. Hospitality and food services, yep. There's no remote for that. Tits, there are lots of jobs here, but no one wants to do them. You actually have a DVM and do a summer clinic to training college students. Started out with 40 in March and you're down to 6. Huh. That sounds about right. I think Godzillionaire has mentioned that before too. It's like people just don't want to do the jobs. They're more than capable. It's just they're like, oh, the government pays me to stay home, so why would I go and work? Okay, yeah. Pretty much. Yes, there's labor shortages, and yes, people don't want to do the work. But you just have to find a job that you like, or a career, and do that. Once you do that, it's not even like work anymore. It's fun. Something you want to do. And leaning into that, there are so many trades out there. So because of where I live in Canada here, I think we have a little bit of a better setup for apprenticeship and training for skilled trades. But here's a list of all the skilled trades that are out there. It's all alphabetical. The green dot means classroom instruction, which means you're going to get on-the-job instruction and work and classroom instruction. Red seal just means you can work across Canada. That's all that is. So you don't have to write a new test if you move to a different province. That's all that means. Compulsory, so a yellow dot means that the worker in this trade must be registered apprentice or a certified journeyman. But you can start out with, look at this, agricultural equipment technician, appliance service technician. You can be an appliance service technician for commercial appliances. Auto body technician prepper, auto body technician refinisher, auto body technician repairer. And then there's automotive service technician, which is just the fancy way of saying a car mechanic. Baker, a barber, a boilermaker, a bricklayer, cabinet maker, a carpenter, cathodic protection technician. That's taking care of pipelines so they don't corrode when they're in the ground. I know this because I have to do a bit of cathodic protection. I just take the readings, but it's all about looking at our pipeline and making sure that it is not going to corrode and have the noxious gas that's in it get out and kill everybody. Communication technician, concrete finisher, construction craft worker, a cook, crane and hoisting equipment operator for a boom truck, crane and hoisting operator for a mobile crane, a tower crane, and a wellhead boom truck. Electric motor systems technician, so rebuilding electric motors. Electrician, elevator constructor. So these are all, you can click on all of these. You can click on all of these or any of these, and it'll give you a rundown of what it takes to be a bricklayer. So I just clicked on bricklayer. Tells you what they do. They prepare and lay brick and other masonry units to construct, repair structures such as walls, partitions, patios, arches, fireplaces, and chimneys. They work with masonry materials, with brick, concrete blocks, stone, structural tile, precast panels. They also layer and install fire brick or castable materials in commercial and industrial vessels, as well as acid tile and acid brick. It tells you what they do. It tells you about the program, the apprenticeship, trades qualifier, what work experience you need, recognizable credentials, program credit, high school credit. It even has supporting resources. You can get trade information, a trade profile, job information. You can look up job postings, what your entrance requirements are. The curriculum guide will be classroom instruction. You can even look up financial assistance if needed, examinations, and legislation. Sacrificial anodes save lives? Yes, they do. Anode Jesus gave his life for our pipes. And that's just bricklayer. There's a lot to it. Where'd we leave off? I think it was F here. Field heat treatment technician. A floor covering installer. Gas utility operator, gas fitter A, gas fitter B. A glazer. So if you want to deal with glass. These would have been safe jobs in the U.S., but Congress instituted H-1B visa, similar to H-2B visa, to start importing foreign workers for trade jobs. Oh, I didn't know that, tits. So yeah, that's a big problem, and that's disgusting on anybody that hires the foreign workers. And it's only because they can pay them garbage wage and make them do dangerous things, and they don't complain. Because they'll just fire them and get somebody else. No, Class A jobs are done by Jose. Yeah, it's disgusting, and yeah, they should not be allowed to do that. Look at this, even a hairstylist or a heavy equipment technician. I was able to do 2 years of heavy equipment technician. Heavy equipment technician off-road, and then there's transport trailer mechanic, and then there's truck and transport mechanic. Industrial construction crew supervisor. That must be a new one, because I've never heard of that before. Industrial mechanic millwright. That's what I do. That's my job. Instrumentation control technician, insulator, iron worker. There's a few for iron worker. Iron worker metal building and systems erector, iron worker reinforcing, and iron worker structural and ornamental. Landscape horticulturalist. And hello to you, Infinite Metal over on Kick. Industrial construction is pretty high end, you thought. Yeah, I mean, industrial construction, you can get paid pretty well depending on the company you're with. And what I'm looking through right now is just a list of all the different trades that are out there. Landscape horticulturalist, a lather, interior, and they're saying interior systems mechanic, a locksmith. You see that guy on YouTube all the time with the locks, how he pops all of them open very easily. That's awesome. That's quite the skill that guy has. Machinist. Yeah, machinist is a good one, especially you get into CNC or CNC programming. Because what they're doing now is they're just hiring operators, and they bring in a contractor that programs a CNC program. You do the programming, and then you leave. And then they just get the operator to just put the blank pieces in, put the blanks in, and hit start, and that's it. You broke it to a lock watching those videos? Oh, nice, Alex. Isn't a lather just a laser with a lisp? It's a lather. A lather. Natural gas compression technician. Oil and gas transportation services, outdoor power equipment technician for recreational equipment, overhead door technician level 1 and level 2. Hey Veritax, how you doing? Nice to see you. You talked to a guy that was offered some pretty good pay with little experience with regular urban construction. You'd imagine industrial supervisors are making bank. Yeah, they can, depending on the industry they're in. The trades, they make good money as well. Like, I'm sure we've looked it up here before, but welders make great money, especially if they have their own welding rig. And you'll see a lot of them up here. Guys have their welding machine in the back of their truck. They pretty much run their own company. They are their own company, and they just charge whatever they want or whatever the going rate is, and they do the job. Good welders get called back. Not so good ones, they don't get called back. Millwrights make good money here. I think you're going to look at low end, maybe $34 an hour. High end or higher end, maybe $45 an hour. Problem with trade work is it all depends on the company unless you gypsy. Yeah, I mean, you've got to do your homework to look up and see what the companies are like. So a good resource for that is Indeed. And just talking to people that work there to see if it's a good company or not. It's a problem with any field? Yes, you got it right, Infinite. We're in the P's here. Painter and decorator, or parts technician. Parts technician, materials technician, and parts technician, parts technician. Plumbers, they make great money. You know, any problem with your toilet, your bathtub, anything that goes wrong. Also, they can do industrial stuff as well. Plumbers come on site, run pipe, do all sorts of good stuff, and make good money. Power systems electrician. So you're working with high voltage then, I think. Same with power line technician. You'll be dealing with power lines. Recreation vehicle service technician, refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic. So if you do HVAC, you are always going to be in demand because HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, in the wintertime, people want their furnaces to work. In the summertime, people want their air conditioning to work. So you're going to be working all the time if you're in the HVAC industry. Residential construction site manager, roofer. They've really cracked down on roofers now. You guys wouldn't believe it. It's where the guys just used to walk around willy-nilly on top of the roof there, and falling off of roofs was like a daily occurrence and no big deal. Now they've really cracked down. You need to wear harnesses and such. Keep yourself from falling off the roof. What do you call a tradesman that pull up to a plant or a septic tank, hooks up to a pump, or hooks it up to pump it out and then takes it off for disposal? That's a waste. That's a waste driver. I don't think you need a trades ticket to do that. Yeah, you wouldn't need that because we have one that comes to our facility to pump out our septic tank, and it's just a waste disposal company. They send out a truck driver, and that's it. Problem with plumbing is that suburban housewives think they can pay with sex. Is there another way I could pay for this? That only happens in movies. You think depending on what it is, they have to have certification to haul certain types of loads, chemicals, corrosive. Okay, now you're getting into TDG, Veritax, transport dangerous goods. So all they need is their plaque and their TDG training, and they'll be good to go. In fact, at the end of the year, I think I have to do my TDG training, so I can load and unload trucks when needed, because that's what we have here. We have dangerous goods, and I help out because we just have a small force of guys. I think at the most at any one time there's 3 operators, myself, and the plant manager. So yeah, very small group, very small crew to work with. So everybody has to sort of help out. Your neighbor fell off his roof and got pretty beat up when trying to roof it himself, preparing to sell and retire a few years back. Luckily his house was only, oh man, infinite. Jeez. Especially when you're getting ready to retire and you're falling off a roof and it's like, man, you just wrecked yourself and you're getting ready to retire. You want to relax, enjoy your retirement, but instead you're nursing injuries from falling off a roof. That's terrible. But hopefully he's all right. And, you hope that there's no lasting ill effects from that fall. Another one, sheet metal worker. So yeah, sheet metal workers are great. Don't tell them that though, but they're great. They can do lots of good stuff as far as making different shapes and ducting and everything like that. Slickline services, I'm assuming that's for the oil industry. Snubbing, same with snubbing services. Sprinkler systems installer. Steam fitter, pipe fitter. Steel detailer. That's the first I've ever heard of that one. Transport refrigeration technician. There you go. You need stuff to keep cool in those cold storage trailers. It's going to be that guy. Alex, you fell off a roof. You've seen a few neighbors in your lifetime fall off a roof. Oof. Did you get hurt very badly, or did you get winded? I hope you're all right, though. He was able to recover, and you think some of the people from the scout troop he used to help with finished his roof for him. Oh, man. That's awesome. That's great that people were able to come out and give him a hand. Finish off his roof. That's good. Your jobs aren't on the list. I guess you're not a tradie. Come on, Tits. You're better. You run a ranch, don't you? Or a farm? You're like the salt of the earth farmer, aren't you? Yeah, the last one's here. Water well driller, earth loop technician, a welder wire process. Now, I don't think they should split those up. Like wire welding and just welder with a stick. I think you should learn both. You shouldn't be able to separate the two out. A good welder will know how to use both wire and stick and even TIG. And the last one, weld testing services supervisor. I don't like the fact that they put supervisor stuff here. So, all tradesmen can be supervisors, but not all supervisors can be tradesmen. That's my thing. Okay, I'm going to move along here. And yeah, the title of the stream tonight was bearings. And you guys know what bearings are, don't you? So bearings are used to support shafts, such, help with rolling movement, make things a lot smoother. NSK, they say today's bearings are one of the most commonly used machine components because their rolling motion makes almost all movements easier while reducing friction. They have 2 key functions: transfer motion. For example, they support and guide components which turn relative to one another, and they transmit forces. All right, someone make the get your bearings joke and get it out of the way. Yeah, Godzillionaire. Tits, you have a small ranch, 2,415 head, but you went to college for veterinary medicine, large breed. Oh, beauty. So that's perfect for where you're at. You don't even have to call in a veterinarian. You're the guy. Veritex, you would, but you don't want to feel that you're being overbearing. Oh, you're saving that one for you. So yes, when I learned that there was two types, there's friction and anti-friction bearings. The most common people think of are the anti-friction bearings, which are these ones here. You have your radial style, you have your axial style. So, right, the axial goes along provides the forces along the axis of the shaft, whereas the radial is 90 degrees to the axis. These anti-friction bearings, they have a couple components to them: the inner ring, the outer ring, the rolling elements or the balls, and the cage. The cage is what keeps the balls separated away from each other. Better chart a straight course, don't lose your bearing. Oh! How about those Gangnam style bearings? So yes. Now the friction bearing is like this one here. It was like the first style of bearing that they ever used. So it's just a shaft with some soft material, and there will be some sort of lubrication, some kind of oil, grease, something to help make the friction between these two materials less. You hate the term friction bearing? You always call them bushings? Okay. So here's what the bushings are like here. And it says bushing, also known as a bush, is an independent plane bearing that is inserted into a housing to provide a bearing surface for rotary applications. And yeah, you can make it out of all sorts of stuff. They've got like impregnated brass. Babbitt was great because I learned to pour. We had to pour our own bearing using Babbitt. And so we melted the material, we poured it in, and then you had to use a sharp tool to shape the Babbitt and take down the high spots. So you put some bluing on the shaft, put it in the Babbitt bearing, and then put the top on, and then take the top off, take the shaft out, and then you'd see where the bluing was left over, and then you would use the scraper, the bearing scraper, to scrape down those high spots. And that's really old school. That is way old school. I don't know if any of you guys, aside from Godzillionaire, might know about that, but that is what I had to do back in the day. Just spit on it. Sounds like a little Bush League. Oh. Veritax with the puns. Nickel, aluminum, bronze are the ones used most often. Wascally Babbitt. Would you cast your own bearings? Where'd you live? Babylon? No, I casted them where in school. In my pre-apprenticeship college training, when I went to my vocational college, it was part of the curriculum to do the theory, and then you'd go out and you do the practical. And yeah, scraping a bearing. Yeah, and there was bronze, cast iron, graphite, plastic. But these are the ones you're going to find in trains. Anything that's really heavy, you're going to have like just a plain journal bearing or just a plain bearing like this. Because these are the only things that can put up with the weight. You try to use an anti-friction bearing, I don't think it's going to put up to the weight. Like this pillow block bearing. Same thing. A wide area to support the shaft. You can see the insert here, the material. And that will be able to support a lot of weight. Hey, Babette. Yeah, nice one. Duck season, Babbitt season, duck season, Babbitt season. I just don't want to get shot by the whole Wabbit season. So this is a video that'll talk about some of the lubrication that you need to use with bearings. There you go. There it is, turning there.
Created by bare metal rubbing against bare metal would cause components such as these bearings to overheat and be destroyed.
So without lubrication, he says the parts would overheat, and then they'd seize up, they'd melt together. So you need the lubrication to help them move efficiently with less friction. Rollers can handle decent weight during operation. They don't do well if you stop too much. We'll flatten the rolling elements on one side. Ah, yeah, there you go. Good point, Godzillionaire.
We first have to know what friction is. Let's look at an illustration that shows a microscopic view of two metal surfaces to see what.
So this is neat. He's going to show what two metal surfaces look like under a microscope that will rub across one another. So I don't know if anyone's seen this before. Maybe Godzillionaire has. But then they'll show us a picture of it, what it looks like when there's an film of oil between the two.
Surfaces is called friction. Friction is also produced while the equipment is running, as the jagged surfaces and any small metal pieces that break off the surfaces scrape against each other. Microscopic scratches.
So that's what it looks like when you don't use any lubrication. You can see all the scratches and scraped surfaces in there.
So a lubricant is a substance used to reduce friction. The lubricant separates the two surfaces.
So there you go. Once you put in some oil, like any kind of lubricant or grease,
the lubricant must be clean. If a lubricant contains dirt or
so it actually keeps these pieces from touching one another.
Bridge the gap created by the lubricant and scrape against the metal surfaces. This increases friction and will eventually result in wear. Oil is a liquid lubricant made from a synthetic substance.
Yeah, tits, makes sense. Can't go in dry. Hurts too much, right?
Natural lubricants are the types most widely used in industry. One characteristic of oil is its viscosity. Viscosity is a measure of a liquid's resistance to flow and is an important consideration for determining.
Yeah, so he just mentioned viscosity. So
for a particular application.
You want a very good viscosity, especially when you're getting into colder weather. And there's something called viscosity index, and you want to have that number as high as possible. What that does is lets you know that whatever change in temperature you have, the oil's viscosity will stay the same.
The SAE system, developed by the Society of Automotive Engineers, indicates oil viscosities with numbers referred to as weights. The higher the weight, the thicker the oil, and the higher the viscosity. In some cases, lubricating
I'm not sure how old this video is.
Equipment are classified using the ISO viscosity grading system. ISO stands for International Standards Organization. As with the SAE system, The higher the ISO number, the higher the viscosity. Viscosity is greatly affected by temperature. An oil's viscosity, or thickness, increases as the temperature drops. The colder it gets, the thicker.
Yeah, so he's just mentioning right now that the colder it gets, the slower it is to pour out. Viscosity.
Oil gets thinner and flows more easily.
Yeah, especially when it gets hot, then it's easier to pour.
For a particular application depends on the temperature it's used in. In low temperature applications, lower viscosity oil builds up a lot of heat in the bearings. But the lubricating oil.
So lubricating oil will also carry away the heat that's made.
Oil's ability to flow freely can make it unsuitable as a lubricant in some situations. In situations where a lubricant must stay put, a different type of lubricant, such as grease, is needed. Grease is usually the best choice.
So now he's talking about grease, about how if oil leaks all over the place, it needs to be held in place, then you're going to use grease, which is just oil that's been thickened up with soap.
To hold a supply of lubricant, so the lubricant used must be able to stick to the teeth.
I mean, there's other ingredients as well, like lithium-based greases and all that.
Used greases contains a lithium-based thickener. This is a cartridge of lithium scale from 0 for bearing. The heat will cause the hard grease to melt, but only enough to lubricate the shaft without.
So yeah, that's pretty much. We don't want to get too deep into it. This is just sort of an introduction, but just showing the importance of lubrication in bearings, whether it is grease or oil. I mean, it's something that's it's very important. You're gonna ruin a lot of machinery if you don't have proper lubrication for them, and make sure it's the right one. You can't mix and match them. That's not a good idea either. Some will react with other ones, so you have to make doubly sure you're using the right stuff when you're gonna grease up or oil up your bearings. Some stuff can't take high heat, so make sure you check for that. Next up, it's picture time. Picture time. I know you guys like picture time, and I've got something that relates to what we're watching here. First thing I'm going to do is go like this. Go like this. Yeah, good point, Godzillionaire. You got to make sure your seals are compatible with your oil. You're going to have some oil that has additives in it that will eat some types of seals. Meanwhile, you're thinking, oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden, the oil just eats that seal or turns it into mush. We'll just go like this. There we go. So the camera didn't get a good shot of this bearing, but you can see there's a problem here. Rolling elements are over here and none are here. Here's a little better shot of it. Once again, big space of rolling elements are missing, and all of them are over here. This is from a pump, by the way. And there's the culprit right there. The element cages failed. That one's bent because I pulled it off the shaft. That's why it was bent like that. The bearing just hadn't finished rendering yet. Yeah. But yes, that's what the failure was on here. The cage failed. The rolling elements moved, and they weren't spaced out anymore. And they all moved to one side, and it stopped the pump from spinning, which stopped the motor, which tripped the breaker. And then it wouldn't spin after that. So the guys were like, okay, there's something wrong with this pump. It's either that or the motor, and you can figure it out right away. As soon as you pull, or as soon as I pulled the guard off of the coupling and disconnected the coupling, the motor spun nicely. It's like, this is good. And I couldn't spin the pump. So it's like, okay, pump's ruined. Time to remove it. So I removed it, took it back to the shop, and took it apart. And this is what I found. So another shot of that bearing with no rolling elements in the big gap there. There's the inside of the pump where the shaft goes. There's the back end of where the shaft sits. So going through this seal is the shaft and then it connects up to the motor. There's the mechanical seal that goes on that pump. There's the impeller. It's not in such bad shape. It's okay. Better for the cage to go than the motor. Yeah, I mean, we do have spare motors kicking around, but it's a lot quicker to swap out a motor than it is to swap out or take apart and swap out the bearings on the pump. That's all. There's the volute. This is where the impeller sits. And as Godzillionaire just mentioned, a little cavitation on the pump. And what that is, cavitation is when there's air in the fluid and it makes bubbles, and then the bubbles implode. And when they implode, it's with such force that it takes a little piece of metal with them. And as you can see here, that's what happens here. And that will happen when the pump is starved. So if it's starved of the fluid it's pumping, that cavitation will happen. And it sounds like a grinding sound when it happens. So, good point, Godzillionaire. But yes, the fluid gets spun around by the impeller in the volute here, and then it comes out here. Oops, not there. Comes out here. This piece here, the discharge. The localized heat created by cavitation bubbles popping is insane. Yeah, exactly. Your pump will get extremely hot. So good point, Godzillionaire. This is looking through here. I took a picture of this because there's a bit of wear. So in this spot here is where the front bearing sits for the shaft. Well, there's a little bit of wear here. And eventually it's going to wear away enough that it's not going to hold the bearing anymore. And we'll just have to get a whole new pump. There it is there. That's the pump. Vertiflow brand. They're still around. And yeah, this end here is where the motor connects to. This end here is the inlet for it pumps ethylene glycol. So an ethylene glycol mixture for cooling heat exchangers. There's another shot of the shaft, the big shaft, and the bearings on it. Not a good shot. Well, actually not bad. You can see that it's pronounced a lot more, that wear pattern and on the bearing housing. I should have covered up that end though. And the camera concentrated on the door through the hole rather than on here. Damn camera. It was a camera, not a phone camera. It was an actual camera. There you go. There's a little better shot. Yeah, so that wear there. I've showed that to our engineer, and there are plans now to get a spare pump. So that's good that those guys want to spend the money, because we don't want these things failing in the middle of the night. You know it will do. Because that's when all things fail, in the middle of the night. It's never like when you're there first thing in the morning. It's pretty cool. You're learning something. Hey, right on, Tits. I am glad. That's what I'm all about here. You know, hopefully myself and, you guys in the chat, especially Godzillionaire, you always have good stuff to say. bringing up stuff that I don't know or that I forget. And it's great. You guys can do that as well. And I'm glad I'm helping you guys, learn something. Middle of the night during a holiday weekend and a blizzard. Oh, I've been there before. Yeah. Yeah, weekend. Yeah, weekend for sure. I've been trying to attend an anime convention, and I got called in. And here's a story for you, a little off track. So I got called in on the weekend, but it was at night. So I got called in the middle of the night. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was a Star Screener or something like that. Something happened. And I was there for 8 hours, and I'm just like, oh man. But then there's a anime convention going on. So I got home, had a nap, got up, got ready for the anime convention. And as I'm at the anime convention, I get a phone call. Hey, this thing broke down. Can you come in? And I'm like, I was just there for that. So I said to him, you know what? I've been there. You got to give me my 8 hours of sleep. And so they were like, okay, yeah, we'll get your 8 hours of sleep. So I stayed at the convention, had a fun time. And then I went home, got changed, and I went back into work to help repair that piece of equipment. I can't remember what it was, but that was a while ago. But I was so angry getting called when I'm trying to have fun at my anime convention. Well, you show up in Mario cosplay, they'll never know. Yeah, show up to work dressed as Luffy to fix a pump. What? Nobody's going to stare at me funny, right? I think I have one more bit of pictures there. I think this was a different pump, though. There we go. Do that. We'll do that. We'll do this. And I'll display capture again. There we go. Same thing happened to this pump. Different pump. This is a Buffalo pump, I believe. By Canada Pump and geez, I can't remember their name now. It was Canada Pump and something like that. Anyway, it's called a Buffalo pump. Same thing though. Look at that. Failure. Elements are gone. And I think I have one more I took of. Oh, and you can see on the right-hand side here. Anybody know what this is? Godzillionaire? Any idea what that is on the side? I don't know if anybody else will get it. But what's this thing on the side of the pump here? For pumping wing sauce. Yes, Buffalo pump for buffalo wing sauce. I know there's a bit of chat delay, so. Nope, not a narrator. Oh, I thought you would get it for sure. Hey, Kitty Bear, how you doing? You always worked unsafe. You never wore safety shoes. Oh, man. We call them Buffalo pumps. That's what they call them. But this is a lubricator. Oh, bison pumps. Okay, I saw the little emoji, but I didn't know it was the bison. But yeah, this is a lubricator. There's a glass bulb that goes on here that holds the oil. So you fill that up and then you quickly turn it upside down and set it on here. And you can control the level. And so if this thing uses oil or the oil, leaks slowly, it'll keep it nicely lubricated. And then you have a visual indicator whether it needs oil or not. And yeah, here's another shot. That's a little better, clearer picture of this thing. Look at this. you can see that cage is just cracked right there. It hasn't let go yet, but it's cracked, and the element is just like right there. Right here, it's completely gone. And how it ate up the outer race of that bearing. In other words, the lube tube holder. Yes. Yeah, kitty bear. Yeah, so that's... And then you can see the nut, the keeper, that you can set the pressure or the distance of the impeller with. You crank this up and it'll pull more on that shaft. Is there a reason you use steel cage bearings versus brass cage? You know, I'm not sure whether there's a good answer for that, because I've just replacing like for like. So if it says, you know, a 6202 C3 bearing, then I'm going to use that, or you know, something like that. Yeah. Do you think using brass cage would be better, Godzillionaire? Is that from a lack of lubricants or wrong kind of lubricants? It could just be lack of lubrication is probably one of the biggest things. We've pretty much got our lubricants settled as to which one goes in which pump or piece of equipment. So I don't think it was lack. I think this was metal fatigue. I think these pumps have been running for a long time, and it's the bearings just gave up because they just houred out. It could also be because of maybe a little bit of misalignment between the motor and the pump you have your coupling. You want your coupling alignment to be bang on, at least within 1/1000th of an inch all around. So if there's a little bit of misalignment, that'll put some strain on the shaft, which will work its way down the shaft to the bearing, and it'll put the pressure on the bearing. And then, that might be one of the causes. Also, don't buy cheap bearings. Don't buy garbage made in China bearings. That's another thing. Made in USA or made in Europe. Don't buy Chinese stuff. You gotta use a lot of lube on the balls. Yeah, kitty bear. That's what I've heard anyway. Brass is usually a little more forgiving. It's been a while. Okay. I wonder if it would be more expensive as well. I'd have to look into that. I'd also have to talk to our reliability engineer, because I can't just go around making changes like that without letting somebody know or getting their opinion as well, what they know about it. So it's a good question. It's something that I should ask, because I'd like to see them last a lot longer. And that way I don't have to change them all the time. Brass is softer, kitty bear. Yeah, it is. But nice or pay twice. Old Salagi proverb. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cheapskate pays twice is what I've heard. If you're cheap, you're going to pay again, because what you bought the first time is garbage and it's going to break. Oh, but okay, buy nice. Yeah, there you go, tits. There you go. If I'm having frequent cage failures, it's worth looking into. Yes, for sure, 100%. Like I say, you can always get a hold of my reliability engineer, and we'll see what we can come up with here. I know we are getting some spares. I just had a chat with some pump reps the other day, and they want to provide us with some spare pumps. so that we can do a quick swap out if the need comes, if it comes to it. Kitty Bear, you are cheap. That's why you bought an expensive PC. Haha. No, you just know where to allocate your funds. That's all. No one wants to deal with engineers. I know that, Godzillionaire. I'm a big proponent of getting engineers out of their office and into the field. And if I can do that, I'm a happy camper. It's like, hey, get out here with me here. Especially when it's raining or something. Get out here. If I have to suffer, you have to suffer too. But yes, that is, I believe that's all I got for pictures today. At least in regards to bearings and such. Oh, and where is it here? I'm just going to find, where is that one? I had that valve I took apart is, okay, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a valve I took apart and I'm waiting for parts on it. So the seats I need are special fire seats, I think they called them. And I have to wait for those 13 to 14 weeks until they can get me the parts that I need to rebuild that valve. Can you believe that? 13 to 14 weeks. So I'm going to be waiting for a while to rebuild that valve. That's pretty crazy. I'm kind of disappointed, but oh well, at least they found what I needed. I was having a little bit of hard time talking back and forth with the vendor there about getting these things, and they're like, oh, we got to talk to our vendor. So I sent them pictures. I said, hey, somebody must have seen these things. So I sent pictures of that to them. Yeah, where did I have those? I thought I had a whole video of me doing that valve replacement or valve rebuild. Taking it apart anyway. You are cheap, because if you had been in the USA, the same PC would have cost 3 times more. Ooh. No tits. Kitty Bear's in the Netherlands, I think. You've been on the other end of that so many times, Godzilla. Here's a picture of what I need. Hey, I try to describe as best as I can. I even had a part number of the kit I was using. So I was hoping they could... Oh, there it is. See if I can find it here. I'll show you guys. Now, where did I get to? Nope. Okay. Just got to do another display capture here. There we go. All right, there you guys are. So have a look here. Pull that off. So right there inside. There it is. Pull that spring off. Okay, so right there. So here are the 2 seats. There's the ball that lets the fluid through or stops it. And obviously it seals against those seats. Those are the things, those are the new ones I need to get. The ones I had in the repair kit are not the same. So I need to get ones that are exactly the same in order to rebuild this valve properly. Parts reps are a pain and full of crap. You sent a picture of the exploded view to a customer via parts rep. Please circle what you need. The mangled part in your picture doesn't tell me much. Yeah, Godzillionaire. Yeah. What did it look like before it got mangled? Hey, they should know better than that. So there we go. That is... It's that. We'll do one more video here. I think the next one. There it is. So with this one, I know some of you guys saw this last time, but this is how you're going to pull it out. First you have to put it in the right way. There you go. And give it a good pull, good sharp pull. There you go. This is tough. I'm trying to hold the camera and do the work. So, get calibrated crowbar. What are they made of? Okay, so the back side of the seat is Teflon, it looks like to me. But you can see how it's seated in. Here, I'll get a better shot here. I don't know if that's Teflon or not. It's yellow. On the back side there is white Teflon, but this is metal. And the seat sits down in there, whereas the other ones were just all one piece. There was no metal. Or sorry, there was just a thin metal ring. Whereas this has much thicker ring, and it's set down further inside there. And they called them fire ones? Fire resistant? I'd have to look at the guy's email. Your favorite lately is how the International Harvester rep wanted you to pay $15,000 a year for a subscription to update the firmware on your equipment tractors. I'd tell him to get lost. That's like, they're as bad as John Deere. John Deere wants you to do the same thing. They want you to pay just so the guy can come out and remove the error codes from your tractor or whatever you're driving. It's like, get lost. You know what? I'm not sure if it got yellow because of the sulfur. That could be. Although I have seen some that are naturally yellow. And I've also seen some that are red. So I don't know. I'd have to look into a little bit deeper as to what the... I was just happy the guys could find me the ones I needed. So I'll be getting those. Hopefully in a couple of weeks. 12 to 13, I think. Yeah, so I took a wire wheel to this thing because it is just filthy, rusty looking. It is not in good shape for a rebuild. So and that's how we get the rust out of there. Wire wheel time. Try not to slip and hit the camera. And there they are there. That's all the pieces. Oh yes, that's right. I wanted to use this nut, but it didn't go on very easily, so nope. Use the other nut. Put that one on. Goes on a lot better. I need to invest in a GoPro. Yeah, I'd look pretty funny walking around the shop with this GoPro on my head. Maybe something that goes like a chest cam or something. Yeah, we'll have to knock this out because there is some Teflon washers inside here as well that will need to be changed out. You gotta love how everything can be delivered in days, but parts still have that 1978 delivery time. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we got it. There we go. You can sort of see. It's going to be hard to get that off with one hand, so. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so there you can see that needs some cleaning. And then in there's the Teflon packing. And the same thing on top. There's a metal ring that helps compress it. And yeah, so in a couple weeks, I will probably have the parts to rebuild that valve, and you guys will be able to see me do that. But unfortunately, I have to wait. That's all right. Until then, I'm just going to wrap things up here. It's been a pretty good stream. I had a fun time. I hope you guys did too. Just want to thank you guys for coming out. If you can do me a favor, hit the like button or the follow button, whatever button it must be, whatever platform you're watching me on. If you're on YouTube, subscribe if you like. Spread the word. Tell your friends about me. I like it when new people show up here and we can show them all the neat stuff. Yeah, Tits, you had a good time? It was fun? You learned something? Awesome. That's great. That's what I like to do. There's other channels out there too, people I watch and enjoy, like Pacific 4 and Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. There's Ronin66, our own DJ Ronnie G, Brandon the Anime Guy, who I was watching before I started my stream up today. There's Angry Canadian. He was first in the chat today. Our own Woopa Troopa and Punkwaddle. I've got a Discord. It's called The Shop because that's where all the tradesmen hang out. We hang out at the shop. Coming up Saturday, the game stream. I am playing Dragon Quest IV for the Nintendo DS. What a great game. I'm having a fun time playing this game. It's a nice RPG and it's for the Nintendo DS. Sunday anime chat. The theme of this month is trains. So come on out and let's watch some anime shows that deal with trains. I like trains. I hope you like trains. Remember, we saw trains today. They had the big journal bearings on them. They need to support all that heavy weight. Oh, Rona stopped doing streams? You like streams? Ah, that's a shame. I thought I saw him do one, though, recently. I thought he was going to switch it up a bit. More trains? Maybe you'll get a good night's sleep for that day. Right on, DJ. I want to see you out there. Might even have one of your favorite animes on there. Good old Galaxy Express. And then after Sunday again, it's Trades Talk Tuesday. You can join me again, and we'll go over some trades, skilled trades, what it's like to be in them, what to expect, what things are like out in industry. You can see some more pictures, more videos, all that kind of good stuff. And I hope to see you guys there. Summer sucks, 4:30 a.m. and you can already see the sunrise. Hey, you must be living in the same latitude that I live in. Because when I get up in the morning and go to work, the sun is shining in my eyes as I'm driving to work, and that's at 5:45 in the morning. But yes, once again, everyone, I had a fun time. I hope you did. Make sure you let everybody know I'm out here. Think about having a career in the skilled trades. It's a good idea if you don't have one already, or pass it on to somebody that is wondering about it. Send them my way. We'll have a nice chat. You thought you woke up late this morning and you saw the sun? You're at the tail end of calving season, so no promises. That's okay, Tits. I don't mind that. That's more important. You get the calving done. But yes, I hope to see everybody on Saturday. Should have a fun time at the game stream. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.